Alright, so next part of our playthrough. And we got a lot of money, but we're not going to use it immediately. We're going to instead switch to the more sensible Legion S2000 that we won from the Type R meeting. Monte Carlo Blue Pearl. I forgot we had this car, but you know what? It looks nice, and I think it suits our purpose pretty well. So I'm going to hop into it. We're going to have it stock, because I don't think tire wear will be an issue yet. We're going to go to Amateur League, our first Amateur League series, and we're going to do the Japanese Championship. I think it's no limits, but in the spirit of the series, we're going to be driving a Japanese car. It is technically a tenure car, so I don't know if that breaks the spirit of everything if you're supposed to just drive a regular JDM. Let me just double check before we hop in. What's our Evo 5 compared to this? Evo 5 has more power. S2000... FR. You know what? I'm gonna scrap this. We're gonna do... We also drive the Evo 6 too. Dandelion yellow. Guys, Evo 5 or Evo 6? Okay, I know you guys are immediately gonna say Evo. James says 5. I'm gonna take that as the tiebreaker. We're gonna drive the blue Evo 5. So, there we go. We're gonna switch cars to this blue Evo 5. And I'm still gonna keep it stock. So, it does have more horsepower. But, let's just see. Take off 300 horsepower. This is in the series of the race. We got only 5 races, and they should be relatively short. I think they're only 3 or 5 laps, so 2-1. I'll just take it because not enough people here to decide. Definitely different scenario from the asphalt days, that's for sure. Anyway, Japanese Championship, and look at that, Evo 6. We're racing it, so we don't double up. So, we're going to change settings to get rid of traction control. We're going to leave our downforce because we've got downforce. And let me just check, wait, before I start, let me check what tires I have. I'm so organized, guys. It is normal tires. Okay. Well, this will decide if we need better tires, so let's get right into it. Upgrade time. What do we have available to us? We could just stage 1 turbo this and be done with it. Gives us a nice little boost for relatively cheap. We could put an intercooler. Yeah, let's go racing intercooler. The cutest car in GT, maybe like the Daihatsu Copen. Alright, so we're doing that. In terms of tires, I think we're fine. Maybe weight reduction? Maybe? I don't know. Let's just see. Racing intercooler. Go right back in. Maybe this time we don't get an NSX. Or maybe we get more. Justin's here. Bruh. Talk about bruh, what a week we had. I guess something that we can legally talk about is the Nicktoons Smash Bros knockoff. Why did I go there? We have 303 horsepower, it's fine. So, we got an Impreza. Another Evo 6, but an R34 Skyline. That might be the issue. But yeah, we have a Nicktoons Smash Bros game now. And it actually looks pretty good. So that launch wasn't as good as first race, but let's see. I know that the AI is rubber banded, but let's see. The new Valve Nintendo Switch knockoff. Yeah, everything seems to be a Nintendo Switch knockoff this week. But the Valve, I know a guy who got a Steam Deck. I think that's what it's called, right? I know someone who bought a Steam Deck already, who pre-ordered one. It looks interesting, but personally, I have like no real use for a Steam Deck because I don't really do on-the-go gaming anymore. Plus, I have a Switch, so the Switch does everything like I need for portable gaming. Not that I do much of it. It is a cool concept, though. It would have been really cool when I was a kid. Okay, so despite having the intercooler, this actually doesn't make our situation much better. And theoretically, we'd have no NSX, so we shouldn't have to worry as much. The R34 would be an issue. Man, the Stage 1 Turbo is just so dominant in all the lower categories. It literally fixes all your problems, but I don't want to do that every time. So Dodge is running a Peugeot sports car or hypercar for endurance racing. Is that what you're getting at? Okay, well at least we have a little bit more real estate down the straight. We're in the mix. We're closer to the lead. We just now have to negotiate 2 cars instead of 1. If I was rich, what would I do with my money? Doesn't everyone ask themselves that? Like, how rich are we talking? Because there's multiple tiers of it. There's like, you know, $1 million. There's like $10 or $20 million, and then there's like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, $1 billion levels. And each of those tiers you can do a little bit more. That's an exaggeration, but I don't know. See, even if I had $1 million, I don't know if that could even buy a house in the market. A trillionaire. You could buy an entire country. If I had $1 trillion, I would make a Formula One team. I would definitely not buy one, but I would build all new facilities. I'd invest like $5 billion into F1. Get my own team. Get the facilities. Get designers, top engineers. And we'll do what Haas couldn't do. Just bring an F1 title to the States. But yeah, Peugeot rebranding as Dodge. Interesting move for American markets, but it's pretty good. They gotta win though. Alright, so how is the Evo 6 against us in upgrades? It looks like it's a little bit faster. So that means it's a challenge. We just gotta hold off for a lap. You got donating charity for remaining? I definitely donate a lot. You just gotta be careful which organizations you pick because, you know, shady nonprofits and all that jazz. I'd probably donate to some animal shelters. I know some people think that would be a waste to use, but that's an issue I do care about, so I'd immediately reserve some money for that. And if, of course, you had $1 trillion, you could do a lot of global stuff with that. I'm just not sure how the right way to use it would be. I just don't want to give it to people. I don't know why I'm even discussing that, because very unlikely that I will ever be a trillionaire unless we get, you know, hyperinflation. All this in a Gran Turismo 3 stream where I'm trying to race Evo 6 and a Skyline. And the rubber banding is iffy. This corner, just not fun. Oh my god, turn. Well, even if we lose this race, I will roll with this setup for the championship. Because it's obvious that rubber banding is the only thing holding us back. Whoa, that was a massive off. Okay. Well, I guess I gotta eat my words because we're losing this race. I'm gonna block the R34 as best as I can, but I don't think our slipstream's gonna help us. We have slipstream, but not good enough. Evo 6 is quick in a straight line. So, with that, we'll cross the line. We got ourselves a series. What's my opinion on sprint qualifying in F1? Good or bad? So, I think it could work, but you need to modify it. The way it's currently set up, I don't like it. I think the best way put it is, you're giving us a preview to the actual Grand Prix, so the sprint race kind of just adds more laps. But for most of the drivers, they don't even, doesn't matter because you can only get points for the top 3. I know they're trialing it right now, but I saw a really interesting modification. Some people disagree with this, but it was a YouTube comment, and one of the few times you can agree with the YouTube comment. It was first sprint qualifying. You know how you have qualifying on Friday, and qualifying sets the grid for the sprint race. What if the person who set the fastest time in qualifying got a bye for the sprint race and was guaranteed pole position for the race? And then on the sprint race, you'd be fighting for who gets P2, which is also a front row spot. That way, it incentivizes people to actually go for pole position, and then for those who couldn't, they have to go through a trial if they want to get that number 2 spot. I think that would be a way to, well, kind of gimmicky, make it watchable. So that Evo 6 is a lot quicker than I thought. We have to win this race, or the Evo 6 has to lose in order for this to work out. The series is definitely 4-wheel drive dominated. I think every car here is 4-wheel drive. Haas is going to be sold to Mazepin, I'm sure. I'm thinking the S2000 probably should have been the better move. But okay. Past the Evo 6, R34 is our next move. R34 placed 3rd last time, so this should be good for the standings. Looks like I picked up a little bit of a slipstream. We won't send it deep, instead we'll try to get some of the curbs. It'll be slower, but we seem to have gotten the line pretty well. Front row set from qualifying, and then the dual races set the field for the rest of the race. You see, that's a way to do the gimmick, like, better. I know NASCAR is not perfect in terms of its championship setup and how the races are run. I hope F1 doesn't do, like, heat races and stuff like that, because that would just take away from the Grand Prix. Yep, back in the oval, super speedway. It's 11 p.m. Yeah, spring qualifying is at 10:30, which is probably going to roll into the end of this series, so the VOD will be a little confused, but I will watch it on my other screen, and I'll kind of give you guys a play-by-play. But probably going to keep gaming. It'll just make the VOD weird, but I don't know. Maybe I could turn up the speakers and the mic and pick up some of the audio. I can't fully broadcast it, because obviously that would get copyright striked. So, Evo 5 is doing pretty well now. In a straight line, we are competitive. And the AI seems to take really wide lines, so... Yep, 30 more minutes for... Everyone calls it sprint qualifying. I know that's its official name, but I always just think of it as like the F2 sprint race. If they wanted to do a sprint race, then the F2 format's not that bad. It does take away from the whole World Championship. Personally, if I was FOM, I would leave it. Like, leave the qualifying format, where pole position sets the race. If you want to make the races more exciting, you do the new cars, obviously. The new cars are supposed to address some of the issues with processional races, but processional races are, like, always a thing. That happens in every single series. Even, like, IndyCar and NASCAR, if you have a dominant driver or a track that's awkward to overtake in, changing the cars a lot of times will not help it. Monaco, even like back in the 50s and 60s when it was a smaller car, was a qualifying dominant track. Yeah, you could pass easily, but Watch Senna versus Mansell in 1992. Mansell couldn't pass Senna in like 10 laps despite having, you know, the best car and the fresh tires and all that. It's always been like that. It's hard to fix the procession. What's up, Darkman? So, bad race for WRX. We do get the win, so we should take the lead of the championship now. Which is nice. Got a close fight with the R34. 7,500 credits, so we're already making our money back. Yeah, follow the leader. Usually the guy who's in pole position is the fastest guy on the track anyway, so in, you know, an ideal vacuum situation, they're not going to get past. They're going to keep going fast. That's the whole fallacy of having pole position start the race in first. Usually. I know you set up cars for qualifying and race is a whole different thing with how the tires are. You have any plans playing GT4? I do. I'm not sure how to approach it because I do want to do a full game playthrough of it at some point. It is a mammoth of a game though. It's a 200+ hour game to complete, so that is something long in the future. I do want, and I'm thinking about doing a stream of it just casually on one of my current save files. I have a 100% save file that I did in 2017, 2018. And I'm thinking we could hop into that and explore around because, you know, I got 100%, bunch of money, a lot of the special cars unlocked, so we can mess around in that. But for now, I want to focus on GT3 while there's still plenty of races to be done. This game will turn into a slug once we hit Professional League, and progress will get a lot slower. So that's when I think we can diversify our content a bit, once the game gets a little bit slower, and then we could maybe put this off to the side of the back burner, do something. I don't know, it depends how busy I am. Living at home is a lot different than what I thought it would be like when I'm working. So, we're at Apricot Hill. Is this the first time we've driven on this track? I don't remember. I think we have driven on this track before in this playthrough. Just haven't seen it in a while. We're all waiting for the sprint race. Me too, man. No one will pit. Yeah, pit stops are optional. I think you could see a medium runner, but I don't think the leaders are going to go for anything. Maybe somebody in like P10 will try a pit stop strategy. But I expect everyone to finish in what their expected positions are. The F1 game on the side. Yeah, F1 2021 just came out yesterday. I know the deluxe edition was out since Tuesday, I think, but you know, deluxe edition is that whole EA spiel where they give for paying $15 extra, you get to play the game 3 days early, and now the days are over. So you lost that benefit now. And oh, you get to play as Alan Prost in career mode. I know you could play Senna, Schumacher, Rosberg, I think Coulthard, and Jensen Button, but it's a novelty. It's not something that should be $15 extra. That would be really cool to have as like a unlock bonus. But nowadays in gaming, unlock bonuses are just DLC that you pay for. There's no unlockables anymore. And yes, there's the whole Breaking Point career mode, but I mean, YouTube and Twitch have milked that content for the whole week, so what happened to my controller? What's going on? All my inputs just suddenly died. What happened to this what is going on with this controller? It's like I have no gas now. Like this is a real wired DualShock 2 controller, just so you guys know. And I've had this for 9 years now. I bought this new in 2012, back when they still made stuff for the PS2. Um, and it hasn't had issues until just now, I guess. And I don't see any breaks, but there's something wrong with the connection, maybe. Which is a bummer because this controller feels great. Okay, well, we seem to have control back. That was weird. I don't want to buy a new DualShock 2 because those are really tricky to find in good shape. Everyone has a DualShock 2, but most of them are broken. I have, I think, like 3 or 4 broken DualShock 2s just from my childhood and whatnot. And then I have a bunch of third-party controllers, but third-party controllers, for the most part, feel weird to play on. They get the job done, but they all have their issues. I might have to buy another third-party controller, though, which is a shame. The DualShock 2 is great. Yeah, I'm aware of that, Subin, but the thing is, I don't know if it's legally okay to publicly discuss it because it was not supposed to be revealed. That was a leak, and I'd say wait until there's a statement or announcement or something before it's okay to discuss it. Because it's not, you can get in trouble. The person who posted that video is probably going to get, at the very least, copyright striked, at the worst case scenario, sued. But, I don't know, someone's getting fired. We're aware of it, but man. F1 yeah, I hear pretty good things about it. The only thing I'm worried about is it's an EA game, EA Sports games, and they're very notorious for making the game enjoyable at the beginning, at launch, and then putting in updates that completely destroy the multiplayer and the game economy and monetization and all that jazz. So just be wary of that. Ooh, nice thumbnail shot. I think we have done a race before here. Nice thumbnail shot. 3 races down, 2 to go. We actually might finish this series before sprint qualifying. Yeah, some of the things with just like playing on original hardware is the equipment gets janky. I will say, just throughout the years, my consoles, for the most part, have been fine. The PS1 from the 90s that I have back there still works great. Read this all fine, loads fine. I used to have screen freeze issues, but I think that was because of bad discs and not like dust cleaning it properly. But I maintain my consoles, so I just don't take them apart. Even though probably should, but I'm not that skilled of a repairman, and I don't want to do it on my only consoles, especially when they're hard to find. So maybe in a few years I can learn how to properly take them apart, clean them, and then put them back together. But yeah, I keep my consoles in good shape, but the controllers are tricky. Controllers are tough to repair because they got their own connections and everything. So I don't know. It's hard to find a new controller or a controller in great shape that isn't, you know, like scuffed or has a wire issue. Because what's the reason people are selling their controller if they're still a gamer? Probably because it doesn't work anymore. Or it doesn't work as well, or it's used or something. They have something better to play on. And yeah, you could get a new third-party controller, but it's going to have quality issues. It might feel cheap, or it might just not have the same feeling, or your buttons might not have the accuracy that you need. So yeah, Subin, take the hint and take the hint and drop it. Just saying. I know I don't play Asphalt anymore, but in general, I don't think it's legal. Dog wasn't listening. No, I read your chat. I should think. Let's listen to what I say, please, because yeah. They sued a leaker for their game for so yeah. Here's a good example, Justin. So there's some Genshin Impact got leaked, and person leaked that got sued for $77,000. Now I don't know if that will happen to the guy who uploaded that video or the dev that leaked those assets, but I don't see that not happening. There's going to be repercussions. So take the hint and protect yourself, because no offense, but I don't think you have $77,000 to play around with in a lawsuit. I don't. So what if this is a conspiracy time? What if this is all a ploy so that they can make more money by suing somebody? That'd be crazy. Obviously that's a joke, but you gotta cover myself. It's weird because I think Marf made a video talking about Asphalt Nitro 2, and one of the comments was that apparently Nitro 2 was cancelled because they're having developer issues, and I don't know what you mean by developer issues, but if it has to do with morale, then we certainly have evidence. Flappy Bird. Guys, remember in 2014 when Flappy Bird got taken off the App Store and everyone was like, oh my god, don't delete it. But, you know, once that fad passed in 2 weeks, nobody played it anyway. And someone was selling a Flappy Bird iPhone on eBay for, you know, $20,000. Even though you could just, you know, dump the APK or the, I forget what it's called on Apple. But you can dump the ROM and, you know, just play it regularly. Yeah, Game Off suffered losses. Like, just taking a step back from the morale of the game. What is the goal for Asphalt in the future? You're not that late. You're only like 45 minutes. Yeah, actual iPhones are going to be selling for 20 grand. An iPhone 3G. There's so many scams where it's like unopened iPhone first edition, but it's just like it's a knockoff. I've seen those unboxing videos where the guy gets scammed. But like, what is the point of using an old iPhone? Because I know new iPhones have their issues, like no headphone jack and security and stuff, but the iPhone 3G is significantly slower, pretty much incompatible with every modern app, and it's just slower. Like, you can only do 3G, and nowadays we have 5G in some phones, so yeah. But I don't know what Game Off's goal is anymore, because I know they're back when Asphalt 8 was popular. There was always rumors about Asphalt 9, and we were pretty much in the dark about the next Asphalt game, besides one leaked PowerPoint. Or was it leaked, or was it just published? I don't know. But there was the Asphalt Shockwave, you know, PowerPoint slide that became famous in the community. But if you look outside of Asphalt, Gameloft has virtually no alive games. Every series, like Modern Combat, their licensed games, like their movie tie-ins, they're the second most profitable thing to Asphalt, and they have been on the downfall. Looks like the R34 is in control. I think the blue Evo 6 has fallen back a bit in this race. So we might actually guarantee the championship with a loss earlier on. So we'll see. Anyway, around the final corner. Make sure our controller doesn't disconnect on the pit entry, and hold off the skyline. Drizel's here. Welcome. Easy dub. Easy peasy. Rich Energy's gonna sponsor you, Crawley. That would be biggest meme. Anyway, let's look at the standings. That poor Legacy is just getting absolutely, like, squashed. 4 points. Poor thing. Anyway, yeah, 36 points to 23. We have guaranteed the championship. So, if we wanted to, we could do prize car cycling, but I'm not going to. I will save the game. Yeah, we used Route 11 too many times in our thumbnails. I'm going to save the game. In case we want a prize car cycle, probably not going to. On console, there's definitely better alternatives to Asphalt. On the mobile market, you pretty much have the drag racing games, Real Racing 3, possibly Racing Master, but it's not really in the same category. That's just the ones off the top of my head. So, here we can just pretty much enjoy the race. I'm going to drive the whole thing and try to win it, obviously, because we want to do 100% playthrough, but let's see. Evo V has done well today. I had a mistake in the first race, so we could have clean swept. Absolute Racing, that's the game by Namco, right? Or is that a sim game? I don't remember. I've heard of it before. I should pay attention to the road, not chat. And even if I pay attention to the road, I just bounce off every wall. You guys realize that you can't update an APK, right? Just saying. So, even if they release, you can't download an update off the Play Store and keep your data. It doesn't work like that. Have I played Daytona USA? Yeah, in arcades before. Arcade games are always fun. I don't think I ever did anything extreme. I did set the record at my local arcade for Outrun 2 on a bunch of the on the hardest track. Not the world record, but the record on the machine. I got the high score. I don't think people play Outrun that much. Yeah, Real Racing 3 is really, really old. It's had a different trajectory to Asphalt 8, but instead of getting updated to Oblivion, it's just been kind of left to get stale. Extremely stale. I stopped playing it in like 2017, late 2017, maybe early 2018, I don't know. I only played the game for like a year, 2 years at the most, but it had the same issue as Asphalt 8 where there was too much farming. In my opinion, farming is not a good thing for any type of game. Sometimes it's necessary, but in many other games, it's, I think it's more enjoyable if you don't have to farm. Yeah, big hot take there. Playing the same mission over and over, any type of game. Oh man, that's gotta be fun. Every game is guilty of having a farming situation in some aspects. Unless they're completely linear. But if they give you freedom, there's going to be farming situations. Even this game, if you don't fully know what you're doing, you might have to farm. But I don't know. PS2 games are, I feel like, out of that question because you have action replay, so if you really want to get a ton of money, you could just use a cheat code and just give yourself the money. Because in my opinion, farming a classic game that has the cheat code available, while it's more pure, you're trying to get the same result and you're just wasting your time. But obviously modern games don't have cheat codes, so... Or if they have the cheat codes, it's like, you know, it's like the hacks that if you try to use them online, obviously you get banned. And the games that were online, like Asphalt and Real Racing 3, in order to not get banned, you have to farm. So it's tricky. Did I delete Asphalt 9? No, I still have it on my device. Both of the games. I've had, even though I stopped playing Asphalt 8 years ago, in 2018, I've still had it on my phone. Even when I got my new OnePlus 6, I had Game Lock transfer my data to my new phone. Because, you know, it's nice to like have a laugh, pop back in it, buy a car on sale if it's nice or something. I don't actively play the game anymore. But I have both Asphalt 9 and 8 installed on my computers, my phone, even my old iPad when I used to play on iOS for a little bit. It still has Asphalt 8 on it. I haven't turned on that iPad in like 2 years, but it's a good time. Alright, let's set up this final lap and, unlike the last race, not choke it. AI seemed to come in hot in the final lap, so everyone's Lando Norris here, I guess. 10:24, 5 minutes to the sprint race. We are going to finish just in time. So maybe we don't start in this segment. Instead, we commentate over the race. We do a chill live watch or something. Maybe I could have a little widget that shows the live timing. Get out of my way. We're going to squeeze in because he's trying to mess with us, and in the first race, we had the Evo mess with us, so that was not cool. This is rubber banding at its peak. Look at that, they just like go straight into the wall. Look at all the AI that just slam into the wall because of the rubber banding. It's so funny. The aged AI. GT Sport has good AI for the most part, but they make it boring sometimes. I played Sega Rally. Maybe like exactly once at like a friend's house, if you're talking about the version on Xbox. If there was an arcade port, I might have played it back when I was a kid. I don't know. We win the race and subsequently the championship. So, here we go. Easy dub. We stomped this championship. 27 points to 46. Almost a 2-race gap. Crazy. But there we go. 7,500 credits in the bank. Ooh, nice thumbnail shot. And there we go. Prize car time. And prize money time, of course. What's it going to be? 20,000 credits. We got even more money now. We are loaded right now. Life is good right now. What's our prize car going to be? It's going to be another Evo. Let's see. I called that. Oh my god. I'm kind of mad at that, to be honest. Is it one we already have? Because I thought we have an Evo 4. We have an Evo 4 in Dandelion Yellow. This is trying to tease us, man, and not give us a yellow Evo 5. But look at this. We already have a yellow Evo 4. Oh, man. I kind of want to recycle that, but I don't know. Here's our game progress. This would be the end of the segment, I guess.